Donald Trump, still clinging to Florida like a spray-tanned barnacle, arrives to christen America's latest monument to human decency. A migrant detention centre so bleak they called it Alligator Alcatraz. Honestly, you can't make this stuff up. While normal countries worry about inflation or healthcare, Trump's out there pretending to be a Bond villain, building a swamp prison and waiting for a round of applause. And speaking of applause, he finally gets the news he's been waiting for. No, not Ivanka sending him a Father's Day card from Witness Protection, but the Senate passing the big beautiful bill. Big and beautiful, of course, if you're a billionaire. For everyone else, it's the big beautiful betrayal.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you.
That, right there, the sound of the American dream flatlining. Trump moaning like he just stood up and took a piss all over his base. And of course, every one of them are willing drinkers. He's surrounded by sycophants clapping as millions of low-income Americans get booted off Medicaid and food stamps, so Wall Street can buy a third yacht. But wait, now they just can't say out loud, "We hate poor people." No, the playbook they're using is much, much older than Trump's hair dye. You dehumanize, you smear, you call the most vulnerable frauds, or lazy gamers, or wasters. And the more you repeat it, the more it becomes the truth.
Waste, fraud, and abuse.
What we're doing is we're going after waste, fraud, and abuse, and there's a heck of a lot of it out there.
He wants to get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse.
You return the dignity of work to young men who need to be out working instead of playing video games all day. We have a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse in Medicaid.
Paint 11.8 million people as freeloaders, and suddenly Medicaid isn't a lifeline. It's a scam. They sell the fantasy that everyone on benefits is buying Doritos with your tax dollars. Never mind the fact that half of Congress couldn't pass a drug test if it meant keeping their own health care. Ask them for numbers, you get Trump math, where 11.8 million is just a much smaller number. And facts, they're just optional.
Are you saying that the estimated 11.8 million people who could lose their health coverage, that is all waste, fraud, and abuse?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's going to be a very much smaller number than that, and that number will be waste, fraud, and abuse.
What number is that? What analysis are you seeing?
I'm not seeing a number, but I know it's much less than the number you gave.
See? No data, no plan, just bluster and buzzwords. The tactic is as subtle as a MAGA hat at a pride parade. Dehumanize the poor, and you can do anything you want to them. But why stop there? The same script gets dusted off for immigrants. If you're not white and wealthy, you're a murderer, or you're a rapist, or you're a terrorist. The only thing more repetitive than Trump's catchphrases is the GOP's commitment to punching down.
When you have illegal murderers and rapists and heinous criminals.
Rapists, murderers, MS-13 gang members.
Nobody has any idea where these people are coming from, and we know they come from prisons. We know they come from mental institutions, insane asylums. We know they're terrorists.
If you appreciate this content, hit those like and subscribe buttons. This is how it works when fascism gets a PR team. Lump millions into one scary category, then turn the cruelty into a punchline. Trump sits there cracking wise jokes about alligators eating migrants. Ho ho ho, let's all have a big laugh. Except that joke lands a little harder when you're the one running for your life. But for MAGA, the cruelty, that's not a bug. The cruelty is part of their makeup. Being evil is part of their personality. Trump just named it and turned it into a brand.
The alligator Alcatraz is the idea that if some illegal immigrant escapes, they just get eaten by an alligator or a snake or something.
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If the snakes are fast, but alligators are big. We're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%.
And America shrugs. Because if you tell people long enough that the others are monsters, anything you do to them looks reasonable. DHS tweets about internment camps like they're promoting summer camp, and the Trump crowd lines up to buy the merch, because nothing says land of the free like a hat that celebrates Cajun children. Whoever voted for this fascistic piece of shit are all a bunch of immoral scumbags. Shame on every single one of you. The world will remember you for this. And when the time comes and the Trump empire implodes, you won't be allowed to hide behind that shame.
I think he's terrible. He's a communist.
Surely someone who holds these values and is quite literally a communist.
He's a communist.
But why stop at immigrants? Now it's communists running for mayor, which of course he isn't, by the way, but they're going to call him that anyway. Because Trump's base are so stupid they will believe every demented word that comes out of his mouth. If you're not in lockstep with Dear Leader, you're an enemy of the state, subject to arrest or worse, a Fox News segment. Threatening to jail your political opponents used to be what the US mocked in banana republics. Now it's just a Tuesday.
Your message to communist Zorhan Mandani.
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation.
Can you see it? It's all just so nakedly authoritarian. Honestly, you'd think more people would notice. But when Trump calls Chuck Schumer a Palestinian and AOC low IQ, the room, they just nod along. Republicans who dare to step out of line don't get thoughtful debate. They get Tony Soprano threats. Step out of the mega chorus line and you're out on your ass faster than Matt Gaetz at a Girl Scout meeting.
What happened to Thomas Massey? President Trump is banning sex changes on minors. Massey voted against it. President Trump is cutting taxes and saving Kentucky families $10,000. Massey voted against it. President Trump is securing our border and deporting criminal aliens. Massey voted against Trump again. And after Trump obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program, Massey sided with Democrats and the Ayatollah. Let's fire Thomas Massey.
That's one of their own. No one is safe when the only rule is loyalty. The Republican Party has become a messaging juggernaut. Manufacture a villain, destroy dissent, shepherd through policies no one wants, then blame the mess on the lazy poor, or the rapists, or the communists. This has nothing to do with facts. It's about selling idiots the scurry stories. And you know who you are. You're the ones defending this disgusting excuse for a human being. And the media? They're mostly complicit, asking questions that make Lindsey Graham blush and make Lindell a journalist. And for those of you still awake, this is how it happens. When fascism gets a PR team, the truth gets buried under merchant crocodile tears. The only way to fight it? Call it out. Call it out loud and often, and with enough anger and sarcasm to pierce even the thickest layer of fake tan. If you like what we're doing here, just click one of these videos. Go on, treat yourself. Let me know your thoughts below. Agree or disagree? I'd still like to hear them. And if you fancy helping out, hit subscribe and give us a wee thumbs up for the algorithm. Really appreciate it, folks. Thanks for being here. See you in the next one.